Guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I am here to bring you the finished junk journal that we were working on using the Crafty Individuals stamps. I'm going to call it Vintage Travels because obviously it had the cars and things, so to me it felt a bit like a travel-y kind of journal. I'm just going to raise my tripod slightly just in case I can't fit everything in, because it is quite a monster of a journal. So obviously we did most of this together on film, but this is obviously the final flip through, so there are bits that you haven't seen. So obviously it's been bound with these big rings. The front cover, I'm not sure, I can't remember now whether I actually finished the cover together. I think we did. The only thing that I did do afterwards was I added the crackle glaze here. So I don't know whether you can see that. Now, I have to confess, I did have a bit of a mishap with this. I had left it drying and then totally forgot that I'd left it drying. Brought the journal in, put it on my lap to thread it through the rings. 2 seconds later, I had this stuck all over my tights. Luckily, it doesn't really seem to have had a terrible effect on this piece. It's not glossy. I assume it is supposed to be glossy. It's not glossy, but it is crackled. And personally, I don't think that it not being glossy, you know, ruins it at all. But I do want to point that out. So that's that. And then it's just got some lace here on the rings. And then here with a bulb pin, I just attached one of my little postage stamp charms there. Oops, which again has got a sort of bluey tone, just looks really pretty there on the cover. And one of my little charms that you may or may not have seen with using my old supplies, so I've attached that. So looks really pretty, I think, with just those couple of charms there on the rings. So going inside, again, I think we did this inside cover together, so gorgeous, gorgeous. I love how it turned out. Yeah, I just really love it. I love the whole journal, to be honest. Then on this facing page, we've got a paperclip here holding on a whole bunch of ephemera type pieces. So we've got some copies of vintage photographs and journaling cards and a little stamped piece there as well. And then this here is also a pocket, and we've just popped in a journaling card into the side there. And then it's also a little fold out opening sort of booklet. So it's not going well this morning. My camera's already flicked off twice, and I have been filming for all of about 1.5 minutes, so it's not good. So you've got more journaling space in here. Again, we've got lots of images layered up here, and obviously, you know, we did this together on film, but I just love how that page looks. As I say, you've got an altered paperclip here, which just clips on through there, and then I've just popped all that ephemera under the paperclip. Going over the page, we've got this page here. Now I can't remember again whether we did do this together or not, but if we didn't, again, you've got a little fold out sort of piece there. You've got one of those Crafty Individuals stamps with the butterfly. You've got some lace, lots of bits layered up, some vintage book page, a bit more of that stamp there. And that just ties up with some string. And then obviously you've got some layering going on in the background with some doily and some more book page and things. Got some vintage, fabric ruffle down the bottom. Well, it is kind of vintage because it's my nan's curtains, but you know, that's not kind of its main emphasis there. And then I've just got a couple of little vintage style postcards popped in there. They're copies, obviously. This page I'm pretty sure that we did do together, so it's all, you know, as per the video. We've just got here some stationery tucked in the side, little stamped piece in the corner there with some lace trim, and it's all been inked up. It looks really nice and vintage. So that just tucks into that large pocket there, and then tucked into the pocket itself, I've just popped a few bits and bobs. So in the sort of back part of the pocket, you've just got some coffee dyed paper just folded like that, and I just stamped those beautiful butterflies down there. This is a real postcard. It's, yeah, not got a date or anything on it, but it is vintage. It was from a collection that I bought a few weeks ago. So you've got that tucked in at the back. And the good thing is that one hadn't been written on, so obviously you've got journaling space on the back there. Then here you've just got one of my printables. And then here I just made a little sort of booklet with some scraps of paper using that little postcard stamp from Crafty Individuals. So that just pops all into that pocket there. Then going over the page, again, we did this one together in the video. So, you know, obviously, if you watch the video, all the stuff that we've got tucked in here. So we have a whole collection of little bits and bobs there. So lots of room, obviously, for journaling because they are all, you know, blank for journaling on the backs. So lots of room there, and that just tucks in there. And then in here, I just made a large tag. Again, I can't remember whether I did this on video, but I just made a large tag, and then I've just made a pocket on the front where I've tucked in, again, another one of those little vintage photographs. And then on the back, again, a pocket on the back, and I just tucked in one of my little label pieces. So again, you've got sort of journaling room up here, and you've obviously got your two little tucked in pieces. You've got a little journaling label there. That all just tucks in there. And then I've got here those blank pages. So you really have got, you know, all your journaling space kind of here. And don't forget, obviously, it's a ring-bound album or journal. So you can obviously undo the rings and reorganise as you wish. So if you want to, you know, take the pages out to write on them and put them back, you can obviously put them back in any sequence that you like. You don't have to keep the order that I've put them in. So we've got these pages. These are all 200 GSM cardstock, and they've all been coffee dyed. So they're really nice and sturdy on the rings, you know, for a bit of extra sort of protection. Then I've got one of my little inked inchies down there, just on some vintage book page. And then obviously I've just done a bit of stamping in odd places just for detail. Another one of my little inked inchies there. I have stitched around that on the sewing machine. Very messy stitching, I have to confess. And then a little label on this one. A little one of my dictionary definitions on that one. And that's it. Then we've got this page. Again, I'm not sure whether we did this together or not. I can't remember now which we did and which we didn't. So you've got a fold up sort of flap. Again, it's just the scrap bit paper and then some of my printables on there. You've got some fabric ruffle and some lace down here. And this obviously tucks in here to this label. But when you untuck it, you've then also got, this is a vintage index card, which I just thought made a sort of cool pocket there. So you've got obviously journaling space here and here. Then you've got a little pocket here that I've just tucked in a little vintage postcard copy. And then I just made a little sort of folding flippy book thing. And it's just got one of my little book plates on the front and a piece of the stamp there. So, and that just tucks in. I quite like to have it tucked in like that so that the flap is flapping, because I think that just makes it look a bit more interesting. And then that just tucks in here. Going over the page, again, I don't think I did this in the video, but I love how this turned out. So I've just got this large pocket here, and I've just added a little sort of flap bit here. Layered up some vintage book page, the word inspired, one of my little vintage photograph digis, and then in the pocket, another little vintage photograph, one of my vintage ticket printables, and that all just tucks in there. Bit of lace ruffle down the bottom. And then you've got some vintage book page. I just then attached a couple of little pieces of lace just up there in the top corner. Thought they looked pretty. And then here, this is just the little booklet things that I have done in the mass making. So I've also got a tutorial on these, but if you haven't seen them, basically they're staggered pages, like so. But the back pages are then glued to form, you know, a couple of pockets. And I've just used it obviously as an insert. So here you've got obviously journaling space on the back. You've got obviously the pages themselves for journaling. layered up a bunch of things here with some vintage book page and a little label and things, and then tucked into these pockets, again, I just included a couple of my little vintage printables and a little vintage photograph printable there. So lots of room again for journaling there, and that all just tucks in, and it feels really nice because it's quite sort of chunky-ish, and that just obviously folds over there. I love how that page turned out. I just really love it. Then on this page, which again, I can't remember whether we did this together. I don't think we did. So I just layered up some vintage book page, bit of ruffle down there, one of my little book plates. And then I just made this little envelope, which I've got some videos coming playing with these types of envelopes soon. And then I've just got a vintage printable there. That just tucks in like that. Love, love, love that image so much of that car, which is obviously one of those Crafty Individuals stamps. Up here we've got a little postcard, which actually I'm pretty sure I did as a pocket, so you can pop something else in there. So I don't know whether, oh yep, I thought that might have dropped straight down and, you know, got lost, but it's fine. And then this is a genuine vintage postcard again that I'd bought recently. So again, I just thought colour-wise this went really brilliantly with this journal. And then going over the page here, we've just got a little altered paperclip holding this closed. This is just a little fold-out booklet, which again, I've just layered up some pieces on there. And it's also a pocket, and I just made a little sort of journaling card there, featuring again some more of the Crafty Individuals stamps and a little butterfly. And on the back, obviously you could either write on this as it is, or you could obviously kind of gesso it or something and then write over it like that. That just tucks in there. And then the paperclip obviously just holds this closed like that. You've got one of my labels, some fabric ruffle down the side, a bit of lace up there, and some bling on the butterfly. And then this page here, again, I can't remember now whether we did this on video. I've kind of lost track, I'm afraid, because we did some and not, you know, not some. And obviously I filmed it, you know, a few weeks ago, so I can't remember now, I'm afraid. So I do apologise if I'm repeating myself. So this is, you know, the inside of like the jacket things for books. And I have just reinforced it with some more paper behind, so it's a bit thicker. Made obviously a pocket on the edge of the page, and then obviously this is that Crafty Individuals butterfly stamp, which I just love. And I've just popped that down there with some lace top and bottom, popped on a little foldy flip, and again sort of echoed that same stamped image on the front with one of my little label images. And then tucked into the side, you've got, sorry, on the back, some vintage book page. And then here you've got another one of those stamped images from Crafty Individuals, some white doily, and then tucked in, this is another one of those vintage postcards. And again, I mean, brilliant, because all three of the postcards have got nothing on the back. So they're, oops, ready for journaling, and they are, you know, they are vintage. And then I've just done a little paper bag, and it's actually made from a little envelope. So it's all sort of glued up together, and then I've obviously decorated the front here and popped a thumb hole in it, and I've just popped in a few of my little printables in there. So you've got obviously more room for journaling on the back of all of those. So I mean, although it's heavily decorated, this journal, I think it really does provide quite a lot of journaling space too. And then going over the page, again, I don't think we did this together, because I didn't want to kind of bore everyone by doing all the videos. So there's, you know, a fair few that I obviously did myself. Right, I have to just remember how I've done some of these things. So this page, again, I've layered up one of the stamps from Crafty Individuals, the postcard stamp and things, some more stamping there, and then fabric ruffle. And then this one here is a fold up like that. And what I've done, this is that beautiful lady stamp from Crafty Individuals as well. And I've just tucked in one of my little printables here, and I've popped this flap over the top of here just for interest. And then when this comes up, obviously you've got journaling space here. This is just a pull-out piece that just obviously you can just journal in there. And actually, you know, this is the lined portion of my Dawn Mist papers. So, I mean, you could also journal on the outside. But I left it plain, and obviously, yeah, it just hooks on there. But this is also a little pocket. So tucked in there, I've also popped on some of my vintage photo printables. So that just goes like that, tucked in there, and then I've just got a plain paper clip there, holding it all closed like that. And then this page here, I can't remember again whether we did this together or not, but again, you've just got a large pocket running down the side, and I've just added a little foldy flap bit at the bottom. This is one of my little number tab printables, and then tucked inside the pocket, I've just popped another one of my little vintage postcard printables in there, and I've just backed it onto some really sturdy card and did it with my decorative edge scissors, so it feels really nice and sturdy. And then you've got another vintage postcard, so genuine vintage postcard. Again, there's nothing on the back, so you can obviously, you know, write on there, which is really nice. And then here I've just got a little paper bag, which again, I've just kind of stamped it up with a bit of the background stamp from Crafty Individuals. And then I've popped on a little bit of, this is actually the centre of doily, and one of my number tabs and some lace trim across there. I mean, simple but really pretty. This has been coffee dyed, I think. It may have just been distressed. Oh, again, I can't really remember, I'm afraid. So I don't want to say it's been coffee dyed if it's only been distressed, but I can't remember, I'm afraid. And then I've just included a few of my vintage tickets because I thought colour-wise they just were brilliant. And there's one that's the ticket strip. Now I have to apologise, this has got a streak. My printer was not behaving that day and there is a streak down the middle. That's not how the printables are, but to be fair, I've included it because I thought actually sometimes tickets are a bit like that. So yeah, anyway, that's a folded ticket strip. They've all been inked up and distressed as well. That all just tucks into the side like that. And then we're on to, oh no, I thought we were in the last page, but no, still not. So here I've just got a pocket going across the page, and I've popped some lace here and this pearly trim, which I've done kind of at a little curve. Love how that looks. It just looks scrumptious. And then I've just popped one of my little vintage book plate printables there, a couple of my tickets there in the background, and some lace trim at the bottom. Again, one of my little number tabs, some more of that vintage script stamp from Crafty Individuals up there, and some lace and some vintage doily. And then I just made a little sort of, don't really know what you'd call this, but just a folding little pocket book, I guess. So on the front, again, I've just popped some vintage book page and some of my number tabs and a little label. And then tucked inside, I've got a pocket here with some vintage book page, one of my dictionary definitions, and again, just included some of my little vintage style printables, all tucked in there. And then on this one, again, made a pocket down there and tucked in a couple more printables there. And obviously you could journal on here as well. So love how that looks. And that just tucks in there. Right, on this page, we have got, again, it's a pocket down here. Can't remember. Oh no, sorry, this is just a pocket here. It's not a pocket running right down the page. So pocket here with that gorgeous, gorgeous car stamp on there. Some lace trim hanging off. Got one of my number tabs with a little flower. Popped this lace here just over like a fabric tip in there. And then some pearly trim across the top, which obviously kind of, you know, mirrors this side. And again, I just tucked in a little journaling card and again, one of my little vintage style photographs. And then here you've just got some more of that script stamp and another little number tab there. Right, this is now the final page. So onto the final page, we've just got this policy envelope style thing. We did do this page together, and you've got a little sort of, you know, flippy out bit there. And under there, you've got a pocket with some little scraps there, making a little flippy pad. So that just goes in there like that. Got some lace top there, top of the pad as well, that, you know, picks it up. This beautiful carve obviously sort of mirrors the same theme there, and then you've got some lace down here, and then tucked into the side I just made a little flip down. So on here I layered up a few things and it flips down, and I've popped some coffee dyed paper in there for journaling. I love this page. It's really grungy and really, yeah, I really love it. And then it obviously just wraps around there like that. And then the inside of the back cover, I don't think we did this together. I think I did this separately, but obviously did it with the same technique as the front, inside front cover, because I wanted them to sort of, you know, echo each other. So the front, we've got Once Upon a Time there with my fairy tale word printable. And then the back, I've just included the sentiment, and they lived happily ever after. And obviously, you know, lots and lots of layering and collaging going on there. Bit of one of my little labels, and then some lace up here and some little, you know, faux bling up there. And then a bit of fabric ruffle. And that's it. And then the back, again, did this together, and then I just obviously finished it off myself. So it's just got that gorgeous butterfly stamp from Crafty Individuals and one of my little number tabs there just to finish it. And I have Mod Podged the outside of the front and the back covers as well. So it's a huge journal, turned out absolutely enormous. And actually I thought, wow, I probably could have done with even bigger rings, to be fair. Because it was, yeah, probably like the thickest journal that I've ever done, really. But I absolutely love how it turned out. Now, I have got a couple of people on my list of requested items who I'm going to contact first to give kind of first refusal to this. So it may be that this has already sold if either of those people do want it. But if not, then it will be available in my Etsy. Obviously, if one of those people take it, I will mark it as sold when the video goes up. But if not, then obviously it will be for sale in my Etsy, and all the links are obviously below. So I hope you like it. I super love how it turned out. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the few videos that we did together. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Thanks then. Bye.